You're tuning in to Gone.net.
Good morning, good evening, good whatever time it is you're joining us from. I look frozen on the stream, so that's a great way to start.
Me too.
But we have a brand new ad that came in that John brought us in on. I'm not working here, so let's try that again. I am very frozen on the stream.
Your expression is fantastic.
This is always the way it starts. We switched software this week, and now it's all screwed up already. There we go. Okay, there we go.
Well, you know, it's cold up there in Canada.
It is not cold right now. It is a good 15 degrees. So anyhow, this week, John is on vacation. You know, I don't know why he couldn't. He's probably chiming in. He hasn't left for vacation yet. He's leaving today. But my good friend David Ortinau here is joining us, the man, the myth, the legend. You can follow up and introduce all your titles. I don't even know what your title is anymore, man. I just say I'm going to nag at Dave for something.
Yeah. Well, you know, you don't have to use a title with me. We've known each other for long enough.
Yeah, I guess it's been a good 10
principal
years.
product manager is the title.
Oh,
although people call me all manner of names.
I just say Dave. I call you Dave. I guess it's been about what 10 years or so, close to 10 years.
Oh, easily 10 years. Yeah, I mean, going back to the Xamarin MVP program and Evolve and the Greg Shackles bus.
Yeah,
were you not on the Greg Shackles bus?
No, I was not.
That was an epic trip to Universal Studios.
Oh, okay. I do remember the first time I met you was at one of the Xamarin things, and we were at breakfast. You were a lot quieter then. I've told that story probably 50 million times, but you know.
Well, I'm probably quieter with you, but I'm one of those. I don't know if you bucket people this way, but you know, you got your introverts and your extroverts, then you got those people that are like both.
Yeah,
it's like
I'm somewhere in that.
I can be very extroverted, but it really zaps me. So like after this little thing we do here,
okay,
I will probably be done. Like, I'll need a nap. I'll need a Netflix show. I'll need 2 or 3 more coffees.
I mean, to be fair, you were the one that said you wanted the early morning. I was like, okay,
it's a Friday, man. Like, you know, like,
yes.
And I'm traveling next week, so like, I just gotta tidy up a PowerPoint, pack my stuff, and then I'm heading off to Prague.
We know you're finishing that PowerPoint about 10 minutes before the presentation, though, right? That's how you roll.
You know, yeah.
The
bosses want the pre-reads. They want to know, you know, that I'm not going to say anything too crazy.
Well, I remember at the MVP summits, both years, you were in the corner, and I'd come over and talk to you, and you're like, "No, I'm finishing a PowerPoint. I need to finish." I'm like,
there's actually method to the madness on that. It's absolutely some procrastination, but it's also like when you go to an event. And you'll see me do this even before I start speaking on stage. I tend to go out and talk to people, and I want to get a sense for what they know, what they're interested in, what their questions are, so that I can do some last minute shaping of what it is that I'm going to talk about. Because I can talk about a lot of things.
It's true.
Maybe not too deep technically, but certainly. I can talk about a lot of things. So I want to make sure that what I'm doing is appropriate for the group. And, you know, the procrastination tends to pay off in some scenarios, most scenarios.
Well, I always enjoy the presentations, right? You always just kind of roll with it. I mean, the one year I thought somebody was going to throw a shoe at you. And I always make the joke that somehow you enjoy that more. I think you thrive on that sometimes.
Yeah. Was that the MVP summit?
Yeah. And people were mad. Like you called it entry and not text box. And I was like, oh God.
That was during the whole let's unify all the XAML era.
Yes.
And I think we had some long time XAML people in the room. So
but hey, we turned it well. This is good. you know?
I do thrive on that because I thrive on the engagement, like I'm super invested in the product and more so in making everybody else successful with it because I spent the time doing what you do. Not as well, but you know, I had tons of customers, clients, built those relationships, and made a living off of delivering good quality solutions in a timely manner for a good price to companies and startups and all the things. So I'm very sensitive to who we build this product for.
Yeah, and I mean, it's obviously the first few iterations of Maui, the conversion were tough, but
What?
yeah, well, .NET 6 was a bit tough. I started having real turnaround in about .NET 7, but I think .NET 8 is where you guys really found your stride, and then everything's been kind of just solidifying since. But I don't know. I still hear some people have problems. I don't have problems.
Well, that's another thing that I've learned. I don't know, my dog is here. You're not gonna be able to see my dog.
It's all right. If you see a little thing that looks like an old rat, I have a
Um,
19-year-old Siamese that walks around.
Oh yeah, no, I did see
Someone's
your
just
cat.
dying.
Yeah, saunter by earlier.
Yeah.
This dog, he likes to boof and bark at anything that walks by the front door. Now I have
So
to recall what I was going to say. What were we talking about?
About .NET MAUI and the kind of the phases you guys have gone through.
Yeah. So one of the things that I learned when I joined Microsoft, I mean, I kind of knew this from being in user groups and working with a variety of subcontractors and different people, is that there's just a wide range of developers and expectations and knowledge levels. You've got developers like yourself who are very cranky, but you will dig into the weeds and you will solve the answers yourself. You will read the source code. You will understand the fundamentals to unblock yourself, and that is value that you bring to your customers. And then you've also got we have other developers in the ecosystem that they generally know what they're doing, but man, if it gets a little bit hard, it's the frameworks problem, it's the tools problem. We've ruined their day, their week, and uh, so like we have to also deal with that. And I'm sensitive to the fact they're under timeline pressures, deadline pressures. Boss is probably a horrible manager, kind of a situation, right? And so
it's always the case.
So I'm very sensitive to all that stuff too. We're dealing with people that aren't going to have the same expert level as an Alan, and so we need to do what we can to help them as well. But yeah, so .NET 6, I knew out of the gate that was not going to be a well-received release in the developer ecosystem, and I tried, perhaps not as hard as I should have, to caution everybody to wait.
To be fair, .NET 6, like if you were in the ecosystem, so I was from the Xamarin days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we saw .NET MAUI, and obviously I was interacting with you and John and the team. There was a lot of things going on. Like .NET 6 as a whole was rushed. Forget MAUI. The tooling was still being built. You guys were trying to build MAUI on tooling that was still being built. It was a pretty insane time. Like you kind of knew that everything was going to be a little bit off the rails for everybody.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people even knew that we had, for the vast majority of developing .NET MAUI initially, we didn't have an IDE on Mac. Because they didn't bring .NET 6 to the existing VS for Mac. They were rebuilding it on Cocoa, I guess.
Yeah, was that the time frame? It's so many years ago now. It's hard to remember.
Yeah, and so like it just didn't work. Like you couldn't even for a long time load the MAUI solution in VS for Mac. It just wouldn't work. And so they had to address that and a bunch of other things. And so then we were trying to get by with VS Code, but we didn't have the C# extension at that point. So it was basically just a text editor. And then, whole slew of things. So Richard Campbell actually has a presentation that folks can find on YouTube that's kind of like a history of .NET. And I think, what does he call it? From Mono to Maui, I think is in the title.
Oh, that's a good name for it, actually.
I highly recommend checking that out. He's a fantastic storyteller. He's had lots of conversations with all the involved parties, and so he probably tells it better than I can. So
You undersell yourself, Dave.
we don't need to recap the whole saga.
So this is now what? So going back, I've done what 3 or 4 of these things with you now. Some .NET community. I will be honest though, Dave, you're a curse for me. So the first stream I did was on your stream. And
yeah,
so Dave has this courtesy of messaging me usually the day before. In one case of one of the .NET MAUI, about 2 hours before, like the community stand-ups was about 2 hours beforehand. So he's like, yeah, can you prep something for like, 20 minutes or something? Yeah, sure. So that one went okay. There was another time where it was like the night before. He's like, yeah, prep like a 30-minute presentation. And then he handed over the reins with about 12 minutes left. I remember that one clearly because I was like, you want me to do my half-hour presentation in 12 minutes? And I remember Maddie looking at me like, why are you talking so fast? It's like, I made it 30 minutes. You gave me 12. What am I doing? And then the first time I remember I went on your stream and that was a train wreck. Now, I remember we were going to add, it was like an old app. It was an older Xamarin app.
Zappy.
Was it Zappy? Okay. And you were like, add reactive UI to this. And I was like, okay, no problem. And so I found that out the day before and I was like, yeah, it'll be easy to add to it. And then I talked to you that morning. You're like, yeah, I haven't opened in about 3 or 4 years. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. and I think that was, I mean, I could have opened it a little bit early, but I had about a day to get ready and I had some other things going on. So I pulled that in. I think we ended up rolling with a punch and just saying, here, I have this reactive UI app. Let's talk about that instead.
Yeah.
But that was fun. So I think you called it PTSD the other day. Yeah, it was PTSD.
Yeah, you bring it up all the time. I think the interesting thing is that there's no video evidence that ever occurred.
Oh, you didn't save that one, did you?
No. It was saved, but
you deleted that one.
Well, this past year I merged Google accounts because I had all these domains, and back when it was free, it was like no big deal, right? You just have your domain on Google here, and your domain on Google here, and so you get all your Gmail and all that sort of thing for free. Like you're not paying anything for it. Well, they started charging like a year ago, and so I'm like, well, I don't need to do that. Like all my stuff's really on Ortinau.com. I don't need Simply Profound and David Ortinau, et cetera, et cetera. So I merged them. What happened though is that my YouTube was associated to one of the domains that I merged in, and yeah, so everything
they're all gone. Well, I won't forget it. It was a curse. I was
I know you won't forget it.
on the spot.
Well,
it was pretty good.
This is your time. This is your chance for payback right here.
Well, you'd think so, except I'm still going to be on the hotspot. So we're going to get to that in a sec. We're going to get to what we're doing, or what I'm going to code, and Dave's going to do what John usually does. And they're like, what are you typing, man? Why is your phone so But again, I was expecting more plaid out of you today too, Dave. Usually,
Plaid?
Yeah, you're always dressed like a lumberjack when you come on these things, and I'm like, you're more Canadian than I am. Well, and you're in the sweatshirt right now. It's about 15 degrees Celsius here, so I've got my key lights on. So I'm already it's pretty warm because John's like, you're so dark. So I had a shirt I was going to wear. I had my Leafs shirt because I know Dave's a St. Louis Blues fan or whatever.
I am.
So I had that, but I was dying, and Dave's like, "You're so red." I was like, "I haven't even started streaming yet," so I took it off. But you're in the sweatshirt over there. I'm still mildly warm.
Yeah, I keep the house pretty cold at night for sleeping, and then it is actually 56 out. And if I wasn't doing this, I would be on the front porch with my coffee and my hoodie so that I could enjoy some fresh air.
So it's colder there than it is here, is what you're saying.
You can do the conversion.
Yeah, I think it'd be high 60s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
maybe
warm.
It's still kind of summerish.
That's how it has been here. But like just, I don't know, today it just kind of dropped. And I looked at the forecast for my trip to Prague, and it's going to be highs in the 50s. So pretty stoked to break out all the sweaters. Yeah, but this sweatshirt is a 50th anniversary Microsoft. Whoops.
Ooh.
Left and right.
Oh, nice. So no plaid, no Canadian ripping it today.
No, this
I did
near the edge of the bed.
I did use my special mug for you.
Nice.
I try to do this. I collect mugs, so I was like, oh, I won't bring on one of my Halloween ones. I'll give you a .NET MAUI mug.
Yeah, I've been well, I don't know if I'm collecting them, but this is from an artist friend, longtime coworker, and his wife started doing ceramics, and so he's a designer. He designed the mugs, so they're koi fish, and then these are, I guess, are they ginkgo leaves or something like that?
Much more artistic than my .NET MAUI mug, then.
Well, you know,
it is what it is.
Yours is on brand.
Well, normally I have these. John, last week I had this big Halloween mug. That's a big giant pumpkin with a knife on it, right? And it was really hard to drink out of, and I was actually like spilling on myself during the stream. So I was like, I may not do it this week. I don't need to give you extra ammo or anything. So again, Dave is not in the hot seat today for some reason. So even though I do wish I could have some small piece of revenge, I'm not that evil. And John says he can't think and type at the same time. So somehow I always get stuck coding, which I am today. So over the past, I don't know, I don't even keep track of the episodes anymore. We've been building this game called Heads Up. Are you familiar with the game Heads Up?
I am not. Tell me about it.
Don't you well, you have grandkids, but they're too young, right?
Well, 3. I don't know. When do you start playing Heads Up? Is this peekaboo?
Soon. Okay, so did you even pull the app down? Dave didn't pull the app down, did he?
I did clone it, but I was stuck in PowerPoint. So
I even gave you my AI keys, so I haven't seen them abused yet. But so basically, what Heads Up is, you put your phone on your head, and it puts up a keyword, right? Like Disney Princess is the one I love to use because.
Okay.
So when I took my kids to Disney a couple years ago, you wait in line. The Disney lines are still fun. It's not like a crappy theme park.
Yeah.
But you sit there and it puts a Disney princess on, and then my daughter will try and guess it, and she'll give me hints. And I mean, if I'm old enough, I can at least figure these things out. And then basically this game. So the reason we chose this game is because, as you know, I'm not a UI centric person. I'm more of the everything else, the sensors, the cameras. So this game pretty much uses them all. So you got the phone on your head with like Aurora or something. And so you can use text to or speech to text to translate that into, you got the right answer, screen turns, yay, you got a point. Or you can swipe the phone, kind of flip it up, flip it down for you got it right, flip it up to say, I have no idea who this is, pass, give me the next one. And while all this chaos is going on, it's also recording the crowd, like your I don't know if they'd be the players or
the
audience that's yelling at you, going, are you stupid? Like, what's wrong with you? Right. Okay. Which is generally what my kids yell at me. Like, how did you not know that? I mean, the problem is that we were like, you have to pay $10 for each one of these packs, right? On this game. So I was like, let's just build a clone of this thing and we'll put some AI in and people will watch us build this thing and fumble over it.
Okay.
So we've been building this app. I've been linking it. We made AI make it look pretty. So it's got lots of gradients and it's a pretty cool app. You put some sound and some vibration.
Just mixed up two things there, pretty and gradients.
Oh no, they're great. Come on. We'll see. This is why I don't do UI, right?
I'm ready for gradients to take a nap. Just go away for a few years and then come back.
Okay. Well, this app then you're not going to be pleased with.
It's fine.
So what we are doing today is we've mostly got kind of the flipping for yes and success and pass. That's in there. The text to speech works really good, but if you get something like The Matrix, right, as an answer as a movie, it's like no, that's not. You said Matrix, but you didn't say The Matrix. Mm-hmm. Or if I speak my Canadiana, as you would say, it translates it to one thing, and it's not quite the word. So there's a lot of it's not really phonetics. It's more like here's some variations of the answer. So Dave's actually, I'm hoping you're a specialist in this area because you've been working on 2 things relatively like this. Maybe you can speak to that maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, so I've got one of my hobbies, my only hobby, is language learning. Specifically, Korean is the language that I chose, and so it has a lot of different sounds. I mean, that's probably one of the hardest things for an English speaker to get your head around, is training your ear to the different vowel sounds and consonant sounds, et cetera, because it's very important to being able to discern what the heck you're hearing, which is probably true in most languages, but it seems to be more so in Korean. So I have an app that I have been using or building called Sentence Studio, and basically in any of the other language learning apps, you've got Duolingo, and I don't even remember what all is out there anymore. But if I find an activity that I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty useful, like I would like to be able to do more of that, but I want to do it with the vocabulary that I'm learning or the grammar points that I'm trying to strengthen. So I basically just clone all those games into my app, all the activities. And one of the more recent ones that I brought into the app is shadowing. So that's kind of appropriate for what you're doing. So shadowing is the exercise of you hear a native speaker say something, and then you repeat it. And so you repeat it exactly in the same cadence, same intonation, the whole deal. You just mimic it, and you do that over and over and over again. And it's helping build your speech muscles, but it's also it's training you. So it's a very good exercise to do. And so I built a screen into my app that does that. And then AI was so gracious to help me actually draw the waveform, which I don't know ends up being actually very helpful in the exercise or not, but it was a cool exercise for me to do. And so I can actually see it. So I'll be interested to see if the way in which I did. So it's both it's generating the speech, but it also can do text to speech. The intention being that it would match up what I say with what the audio is in waveform format, right? To see how close I was, and then grade my shadowing based on that.
Wow, so we're not going quite that crazy.
Right. But I think that there are probably some principles or maybe some tech in what I did that could be interesting and useful. And all of that stuff is being powered by AI. So I have Azure Foundry. I also still have some OpenAI directly in it. And then I have a service called 11 Labs, which may or may not be useful.
Yes. I'm using them right now for some.
Okay.
They do a much better job of the text to voice. Like it sounds more like some of the ones you use on Azure are very robotic sounding. At least that's what people have told me too. They feel it's very robotic. And 11 Labs you're like, okay, I don't know if you're a person.
Yeah.
Or if you're, I mean, other than if they sound like John's video when we started up, he was like, yeah, I'm adding this AI voice. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
So that was
yeah.
So that was a generated announcer voice. Okay.
Right. It sounded pretty good. I mean, it sounded like
it was legit. I was like, oh, who does he know that does voiceover work that he had to do that?
That was AI, and he had to have it in. So
yeah, well, so I think the nice thing about 11 Labs is that you can actually search for voice models by language, by region. I would imagine you can find some Canadian in there.
Nice.
And so I think the way that they're doing it is they're using real people and they're training models based on their particular speech patterns.
I think sometimes what you see though is you see that breakup of as they kind of put words together. Sometimes the intonations don't match. So it's like I see this. I'm doing some call center work right now. So like with Azure Comms, and that comes in and it does a good job translating it. But when you kind of spit text to speech back out, it's a bit, you don't really know how to describe it, but you can tell it's a computer talking to you.
The uncanniness of it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's just little gaps. Like it takes a breath in between a word is the best way I describe it. Right. Cause we tend to, when we're speaking, you tend to just let it roll. And that was the hardest thing, I think, for a lot of the engines for years. Like when you did, computer do this, is it couldn't hear those breaks. And
Yeah.
now the computer's, smarter than us. So it's figured this out.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do again, and I'm going to share my screen in a second, and David can get his cowboy boots on and start riding. If he is, I mean, you're tired this morning, so that's to my advantage, right?
It is.
So what's been happening is our text to speech is picking up, like it'll come in our language, and I'm going to say Canadiana. I know you love that term. If I say color and my phone is set to ENCA, right? English Canadian, it'll put the U in, but our AI is bringing in COLOR, right? So color, COLOUR in Canada. Don't ask me why. I don't even know. I think it's dumb. But those matches, I mean, it sounds the same, but I've tried pulling out phonetics. Phonetics don't match. It's not a case of match, right? It's a case of different spelling altogether. So that's the challenge today.
Okay.
So I'm going to share my screen. I know you don't want to look into infinity. If I am staring over here, Dave, it's because I have to look at somebody when I'm talking. I don't know. It's just a weird thing that I have. So here we go. Can you see it today, or should I make it bigger?
I can see it. Maybe just a touch bigger.
All right.
Yeah, that's good. Oh yeah.
Okay. And it's burning my retinas. It's great. This is
good.
another reason why it's so hot, because I have a 40 some odd inch monitor blasting me. Along with
Does that thing put off any vitamin D? That probably would be good for, like, why haven't the screen manufacturers figured out how to do the whole vitamin D light thing, but with monitors?
But then you'll get sunburns. I'm feeling fairly sunburnt right now, to be honest.
Surely they could dial it, right? Like, okay, we're going to give you like a dose of vitamin D for 1 minute and then off and then on and then off. Like, I mean, like a plant lamp. We're all just plants.
Oh yeah, there you go. So I'm going to see if this is going to spin up while I'm kind of coding. So we've got.
Hang on, I want to make fun of your intro video for a second.
Okay.
So the caricatures in the intro video look like they're from a few years ago. I find the two cranky Muppet guys way more who you are. So.
Jeez, this is relentless. To be fair, that is how I thought about it. Now, I'm not usually, I guess I can't be cranky.
Who has the stash? Who's the stash? You were John.
I think John, he's more of the, he'll, I don't know. It depends on the day. That's a more fair answer. It depends on the day. Sometimes I'm pretty like snippy, and other days he's on about something. I will say, and if he's listening, I don't care. John is more like the boulder you can't move. When he sets his mind, when he's decided something, he does not move. And I'm sure you know that too. Like, it's just, he's made up his mind. There's no point. It's just, he's going to do it his way. And that's that. Right. So, I'll give him the stash then. I'm going to freely give him the stash. He can complain when he comes back from vacation.
Stashes are in, man. My son's got a stash. My, son-in-law has a stash.
Well, I don't know. I can't really grow them. I know you always have I call you Wolverine. You've always got the Wolverine look going, but I'm French. Like, I've got French Canadian, so like nothing grows here. So I just end up looking like a vagrant or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to share my phone this morning or not? Let's do this. Come on. Yeah. Okay.
It's in use.
It's not really in use. It's just got to figure its stuff out.
Interesting. I haven't had any problem with. I mean, if it's locked, it won't start up, but otherwise it works.
Your curse continues, Dave. Your curse.
I know, right?
It's almost. I never have the problem, and now look at this. An error occurred. Try again. Oh, it's going to be one of those mornings. Well, worst case, I'll just show it on here. Anyhow, well, this is maybe going to work. We have nice kind of dependency injection. So obviously I like nice, pretty code. That's why, I call everything shiny code. We are using, so there, I know kind of some of the community libraries have coming out, like Frank Kruger released, what does he call it? What does he call
Cross intelligence.
So cross intelligence, which isn't really cross yet. I think he was working on it. And I know good friend Matthew Leibowitz has been working on, he started on a chat client or an AI chat bot thing
Yeah,
based on
we are
Microsoft.
working on essentially adding Apple's APIs, which is what cross intelligence is based on, as well as
Okay.
Google and Windows, to Microsoft Extensions AI. And so
Oh,
it's
that's
that
an official
implementation
project.
is what he's working on.
Is that an official project?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. So we aren't using that. We are using indeed a OpenAI. And the
Cool.
reason is that Apple Intelligence isn't really intelligent, at least in the sense that we would need it, right? Because you're not going to have Disney princesses on a local model on a phone. It's never going to happen, right? So we are going out to there. I'm not going to share my keys, but that's fine. They're in here. Anybody that wants to try and copy and see, I haven't committed them. They're in this model. We've got OpenAI, but we are hoping that, these models get smarter over time. Maybe when you guys release the official extensions, we'll try and plug it in and see what we can get. But for now, we have this little thing, the answer provider. So the answer provider is generating our answers based on a category. So this is kind of the cool thing you don't get with the official game is they give you packs and they sell them like $10. It's kind of a ripoff if you ask me. But what we're doing is you can go in, plug in your own category name. So like, I don't know, my daughter came up with Taylor Swift. I'm like, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to work with this. I mean, I don't know about you, Dave. I don't know any Taylor Swift stuff. I know she dates a football player because I watch a lot of football. That's about it.
Engaged to get up with the news, man.
Oh, I don't care. I just want to see the Chiefs get beat. But in any case, so we can feed like Taylor Swift, like a line, like famous songs by Taylor Swift, and it comes in here, and OpenAI will be able to figure that out. So again, what we're looking to do is here's our AI answer provider. We've got a fancy little system prompt, so we can tell it, you are a game host for heads up. How we want the data. Now we are obviously going to switch to structured data today, because we want some variable answers. I don't know, whatever we want to call it. We also give it a number of how many answers we want, and we kind of let it go from there. So what our goal today is to kind of expand on this, because right now, like I said, the matrix or color, the Canadian version, the long version, doesn't come in very well. So I'm going to add a record. What are we going to call this? Answer values? I don't know. And we'll give it we'll just reiterate our category. But we're going to need a list of things, right? So what we get is a batch of answers back, right? So like Disney princesses, you get like just the names. So we need.
All right. So I'm gonna ask a dumb question because I'm full of them.
All right. No dumb answer.
I still code in like whatever the C# version was before records were a thing.
Okay. Would it help you if I do?
So what? No. Use records, but like, why? Why records?
They're immutable. They don't.
Okay.
You're not supposed to touch them.
I know what immutable means. Yes.
Right. So they're. I mean, you can change them, but you got to make your own version of them, I guess, is the best way to answer it. It's also the reason I'm choosing records here is because they're a lot less typing. Right.
Okay.
It's less typing. I don't know about you, but as you get older, your wrists, they don't feel as quite as limber. And I'm big on less typing.
Can I show you my new keyboard?
No, I can't see it though. Hang on. Oh, what is that?
It's almost shaped like a state, isn't it? It's a ZSA Voyager. That's only one half of it. The other half.
Yeah. John's tried to convince me to get one of those. I'm like, I don't know how to, I don't.
It takes some learning. But you're a keyboard player. You got a keyboard right behind you. So
I know,
you
but
should be able to adapt.
It's very straight, right? Like your fingers are straight. That one's like, I don't know.
No, but what I'm saying is, I mean, your mind muscle connection with your hands is solid. So like you should be able to adapt to other form factors.
I can't learn new things now.
That's a lie. That's a lie from the enemy. Okay.
Oh,
you can learn new things.
All right. Fine. All right. So that's why I'm using records. It's less typing. That's probably at the end of the day, that's the best thing. So
that sells it for me.
All right. See, that means you learned something new, right?
Yeah, I'm here to learn for sure. Right.
Okay, so we have, I mean, technically I could just return a bunch of these. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm just going to return an array of the answer values. And so what this will be is, come on. What this will be is what I want to display on the screen. So this would be like your color or your the matrix. And then what I'm hoping is, maybe I call these variants. I don't know. I don't know what the right term is for this, but this will be the phonetically sounding typoed versions. So when the Americans want to spell everything without the U because Canada likes their typing, that will be what's in here. So now I've broken everything because I've changed our interface. So let's see what it's angry about. So I need to give this guy an answer value, maybe results, and then it's going to be angry about this. Yeah, go ahead.
This seems, because I'm lazy, seems like a lot of work. And I know you haven't even gotten very far yet, but like, I'm already wondering, like, can't you just enhance the prompt to understand cultures and do the right thing?
Yes and no. So to be fair, I have done a little bit of testing on this before the stream. And before we get to your next question, couldn't I just have AI do this? Well, I could, but it's not going to do a great job and it'll take just as long. So I kind of already know where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
But the culture stuff, that's why you have to pull out the variants. It's not quite right. And again, you always seem to think I say a boot, right? Isn't that a common one? A boot?
I don't even know how to spell it. ABOOT?
I guess. I don't hear it. I say about.
You don't hear it.
I don't hear it. I think Americans just like to make that joke. So and text and to be fair, speech to text sees ABOUT. So anyhow, I'm sure. Well, let's see if AI thinks we should put in a boot in there, anyways, right? Because it's going to come up with this stuff. So now we have. Right now, I've been telling it how to structure the data, which is fine. We're not going to do that anymore because what I want to do is, now this is only really in the newer providers, I would say. I don't know. I think this is probably going to be an issue for you guys when you do the get responses out of the, like Apple and especially the Google ones. The Google ones seem kind of weird. So I'm going to do answer, what do I call this? Answer value. And I want an array of them. So we're going to see, that's probably going to want a list too, isn't it? But we'll see how that does. So what I'm going to try and do is tell this thing, give me, let's see, give me, oh, I should put some descriptions on the model too, right? I think I'm going to switch this to a class. Have you used structured data before, Dave? You must be using structured data. So that's where basically you tell, like it's almost like a serialization response.
Yeah.
So the get answer response, get value.
Right. Yeah, no, I absolutely do that.
Yes. Okay. So it's really only kind of like OpenAI does this. There's not a lot, like some of the Foundry models don't do it yet, which is kind of annoying. But so I have display value, and I'm doing this for a reason, believe it or not. I went back to a class. See, after all that.
So you're saying some of the models don't obey the request for a structured response?
They error. They don't like,
interesting.
They don't support it yet. So like if you,
I hadn't run into that.
I forget which Foundry module I was using, and it's like, we don't support this yet. And I was like, well, Azure AI Inference, I think is what it was. Whatever model that was pulling by default, there's like a hack online. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So basically, when you're using structured data, one of the things that it'll look at is it'll go looking at these attributes. So you can say, like, this is what's intended to go here. This is the main value to display. This, I don't know how I'm going to describe this. This is a list of alternative values. Oh, see, AI is already figuring it out.
I know, right?
Yeah, see, wow, here we go. And then I can go back to this. So I'm still going to, I still like to put it in the system prompt myself. I don't know if it cares that I'm putting it in, but we want the data structured to include the main. Oh, look at that. It already did it. It's smarter than I am.
If so, you're adding additional rules, or you're reiterating what's already in the descriptions?
I reiterate it just because I don't trust it. Call me
That's
weird.
interesting, because I have the opposite opinion. I don't want to confuse it.
Well, I mean, the point is we're going to see what it's going to do anyways, right? So
Yeah.
we've got our response. So now what I should be able to do is this. Before I was reading text. So now this should come out with result.
Yeah, I actually have a rule in my Copilot instructions that tells it, don't add the response format to the prompts. And I manage all of my prompts in oh gosh, now I forgot the name of the text format thingy.
The text format.
Scriven. I have them in Scriven
Oh.
files. And that I enjoy having that little format, and it's super easy to do. And now it's actually native AOTable. So
of course, my phone is not going to connect this morning. It is. I just like, dude,
just hold up to the camera.
I mean, I do this like 1,000 times a day without issue.
But I'm here, so
you are.
It must know. It must know that we're crossing an international boundary between Canada and the U.S. And it's
it
like,
really is a curse.
International law. I can't do this.
I mean, we were launching this with John last week without issue.
Yeah, but he's in Canada.
Yeah, and now look at that. Okay, now it's mad because I've changed the data. So that's all right. Now I was expecting at least some of that. So other things we're doing have to change. So that's fine. Let's update this. And this will be answer value. Great. This is how we feed our game data. So don't worry too much about this. This I'll fix up. All right. We've got our answer type. Got our phonetics. Now it should still complain one more time. Great. So I'm just fixing some code here from all of our services so that it understands what the heck I'm doing. So our current code, our current answer is going to take the 0 value of that. Why is this thing? It's oh, okay. Current answer is answer value. And answer value should be 0. That's what we want. All right.
I've got a red squiggle.
Almost there. Almost there.
There you go.
Okay, so we got that. So there's one more thing it's going to complain about because we store all of our game results in a database as long with the videos. So I just have to go through and update this stuff. Display value, because now we're getting an array of stuff. We're not getting the actual values anymore. We're not getting just string values anymore. All this just to get AI building some fancy things. Okay, so and current text is also display value. So now we are at the key portion, the portion that matters, I guess. So this is our text to speech. Sorry, speech to text. I always get that backwards.
Answer detector.
Yes, this is what's going to listen to the crowd or me saying, you know, this was the answer. See, I even put it in E and US.
So how does it know if it's the crowd or you? Like, I mean, if they shout the right answer, but you are saying the wrong thing, it's going to say you were right.
So what we're doing, so we're using the community toolkit, the .NET MAUI community toolkit. They have a speech to text thing.
Yep. And
it's picking up, like if I turn the logging on for this thing, you'll see it's picking up all these words, right?
Sure.
So we actually have, yeah. So what we do is I kind of do like a buffering. So listen for 800 milliseconds, take all the words in that time, figure it out. It's not perfect, but it does a pretty good job. It doesn't do a bad job.
I would be interested. I mean, this is totally not a today type thing. It's a technology. The speed of the models and everything is not there. But you can stream audio to OpenAI, right?
Right.
And use its endpoint, whatever, to actually process the audio. It's not fast.
Yeah.
Yet.
And that's the problem, right? Like the worst thing about this game is that even when you get an answer right, it goes success. and you got to wait like a second or two before it sticks the next answer up.
Yeah.
So the original game does that too. And you're like, okay, shut up. Good. I'm right. I want more scores. Right.
Yeah.
So that's why we're trying to kind of fit into this, give us the text. The AI is already done. So we basically just get AI to give us the answers.
Sure.
And then we're kind of shuffling through.
Yeah.
So at this point, we're not going to worry about how we buffer and get the utterances and all that junk. That's done. What we are coming in here is the detect answer. So this is after the 800 milliseconds. It puts together. So if I said like next question, it'll put that together. The audience can yell pass if they think you're being stupid. You're not going to get it right. There's close enough and correct, right? So if it was like I said matrix and they were like, whatever, close enough. So you can help the person out. It's not, you don't just have to say the answer. So we've got our game service injected into our answer detector. And now this is no longer a string. So we now have the display value, right? That we've said we want. So this would be the main, whatever we're showing on the screen, but we also have these variants. So I'm going to hope that AI does a good job with the variants. I don't know if it is. We'll see. We'll see. So I don't care about the game in value. I want to say, let's say if the game service dot current answer display value. So I've already shrank the text, right? I guess I might have to do that anyways too. We'll do equals. Come on, AI.
It's not fast enough for you.
No, it's flickering off. It's the curses. The curse is finding its way into the IDE now.
Yeah. So, well, we used to have that problem in, I don't know if it was VS or VS Code, where the text completion from AI would conflict with IntelliSense.
Okay.
And so like it would, you get that flickering, that like compete. And to the point where like I was talking to some of the XAML language service folks and they were like, should we just turn it off and like just let AI do it? Because like, is it better?
You never know. I mean, here it solved it the second time. If you see the next plan was, okay, if the current display answer is right, return. So I had to type that. At least for the variants, it did autocomplete and it didn't blink. It just gave me a chance to hit tab. There we go. So this is all we wanted, right? Like it's not a lot of work. So I did have to change a handful of answers or classes just because we're changing up how we're returning data. So now the fun part is that I need to deploy this darn thing to my phone if I want to take a stab at it. But we can also just debug it locally and see what AI gives us, right? Because that's really all we care about is the data. So let's see if I can get this to deploy to something. Or if your curse continues to this day.
No, I'm never going to hear the end of this. That time you came on.
No, it just adds a story.
Just adds to it.
It just adds to it. It's flavor. It's flavor for the storytelling. Okay, it is going to launch it. It's going to launch the sim. It's going to launch 2 sims just because that's. I am on Mac 26 and iOS 26, but using .NET 9. So it's not.
Okay, so you're on 9, but targeting x26. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not quite.
Thank you for dog fooding that for us.
Yeah, it's not a problem. It's also because I'm too impatient. I really want to update to latest latest everything. Minus .NET 10. I'm not brave with RCs yet. I gave that up a few years ago. What did you launch on, man? Why aren't you launching?
Yeah.
It says it launched.
Wherefore
on the iPhone Air, but it hasn't launched. The curse continues. The curse continues. Here, maybe I'll help it out. Now, hopefully this isn't deafening loud when it does launch.
Well, I can't see your debug status because it's behind the logo.
Yeah, it's angered. I'm going to try it again. Let's just give up. iPhone Air failed to install. See, the curse continues, man. I ran this.
So this is not something that you see happening regularly. It's just a now thing.
Yeah, I ran this morning. Then
because in the next session, the next season of .NET MAUI, I really want to see us kind of address some of these just niggling little, hey, tooling doesn't always do the thing that I wanted it to do, or the build doesn't always, like I've got an issue where iOS, when I go to deploy to my phone, like it's like 75% of the time it's good, but 25% of the time it's like, I failed to deploy for some reason.
So to be fair, this doesn't ever happen, ever.
Okay.
I run this daily. I am in Rider. I am a big Rider fan, and I don't use VS Code for Maui. Don't hate. It just this is a full blown IDE. This is what I need. This is where I'm happy. It has decided that it's going to kick me this morning, which is
it's just the way.
I just roll with the punches now. It used to be embarrassing. Now I'm just like, well, I'm just going to go have a coffee after this.
Everybody deals with these sorts of things, and they can learn from how you deal with it.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter anymore. We'll give this a chance. And basically the main goal is I've coded the thing, and I'm pretty sure this, like I could pull this over and do a unit test and we could see it. But the main goal here is we've updated, we tell it how we want the data. Now you think I'm being over paranoid. I might be. I want the data structure to include the main display value. So again, that's the answer we show on the phone. And then I want the Canadiana versions or the misspellings. Actually, one of the Disney princesses, Belle, she's a French girl, so she has an extra E because it's extra special.
Isn't she from Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah, she's from Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
And so Belle, when it picks up, it's going to launch. Okay, we got debugging on the phone. Maybe. Okay, good. We got it. See, got a cool theme song and everything. I don't know if you can hear that.
Nice.
Yeah, we had to have some fun, right? So I'm going to try and debug this now. Why don't I just give it I'm not going to give it Taylor Swift because I wouldn't know if any of those. I'm going to give it Disney princesses.
Yeah, let's stick with that.
So it's going to go to a timer. This is actually where we reach out to AI, and I'm going to hope that our debug works. It did. Okay. I'm going to shut up the phone now because apparently my daughter doesn't like when I dance to the theme song, but it's quite fun.
Oh, wow. So, that's a lot of variance.
No, this is, so again, we have our display value. So Snow White, it gave us Snow White. I'm not sure what it's going to see for variance for this. Princess Snow White. That's not bad. Let's see if I can find Cinderella. It's not quite what I was hoping for.
Oh,
I mean, that's not bad though, because you can say like Sleeping Beauty. Yeah. Okay. Problem is somebody's going to say it's from this movie, and then it's going to get the answer right because they said, hey, it's from Sleeping Beauty, the princess from Sleeping Beauty. And you're going to be like, oh, thanks. You just gave me the answer. This one's good.
Okay.
The Little Mermaid. Come on. This one. So Belle. This is what I'm hoping for, is to see Bell. Okay. So we didn't. So I need to just update it a bit. So that's the trick, right? We want Bell, not this version. Why the French version?
Does your prompt ask for phonetic variations?
Well, the problem, so I'm going to tell it to give me a phonetic variation, but if you've obviously done stuff with true phonetics, right? In your sentence studio?
Really.
Okay.
No.
So when you get phonetics, like an actual true phonetic version, it's like, it basically takes the word, splits it apart into like 3-letter words of the sound. So it doesn't really match what we're going to be saying. Like nobody's going to say belly or whatever, right? Because that's how it tries to do some of these things. So I also account for words that have see, look it. It's like it's listening to me. You see what it's saying? It's doing the Canadiana. I swear to God, you have powers in this. Because that's creepy. And for thing, I don't want to be specific. Let's just try that. We'll keep adding to our prompt and see what it gives us.
Right.
Now
that's a good approach, is to not overcomplicate. Just give it the minimum.
So I do realize we're coming to the top of the hour. I'll finish this debug session up, and then we can let David go on to his day of, what did you say you were going to do? Drink more coffee and watch a Netflix episode?
I think I need a nap after this.
I still don't know why. I
I
would
don't
have
know
been
what
fine
is
doing
on
this.
the schedule for today. Let's go find out.
You have a second while we wait for this to launch. Now, AI did help find all of the clever. So the music, I had to have music. You can't have a game without music, right? It's pretty boring without the music. So when it found the song, I was like, oh yeah. And so I have to dance every time it comes on. And my daughter gets mad at me. She's like, you look like such a dumbass. Sorry.
You know what? She says that now. How old is she?
She is a tween. She's
A tween. Okay.
yeah, she is the
So
13 age of
obviously,
hell.
yes, you're nothing but embarrassing.
I love it.
I tell
live
you
for
what,
this day.
man, once they get older, and then once they start having their own kids, which I know is way far away. I should have waited for you to have a full mouth before I said that.
Oh, you won't get me.
Then they see you doing that with their kid, and they're like, "Oh, my dad is so awesome." So
maybe I'll wait for it. I'll wait for it, I guess. All right. So we've got debugger up again. I have the sound turned way down, unfortunately. I would be dancing otherwise.
So you prefer to mouse hover things in the editor to inspect them as opposed to using the whatever watch panel or something?
I think I find it easier because I can't make this text bigger. And this, well, I guess this text isn't coming out big today for whatever reason. So this is, I was told to do this as a demonstration purpose because this is easier to see because I'm hovering exactly what I'm debugging.
Okay.
Is that true or false? I mean, you do a lot of this, right? You don't necessarily do code demos, I guess.
Yeah. It's just, sometimes these popovers are finicky and they go away when you don't want them to.
It's true. So it didn't quite give us what we wanted. In fact, for Pocahontas, which is one I would have expected to see some sort of variant, it decided to give me no variance. I mean, I don't know how else Pocahontas would sound, but there it is. Okay, Bell, what did it give us? Come on, man. You gave us less.
Yeah.
You didn't give us more.
Well, maybe the example you need to give it is Belle and Belle. Because you're doing Disney princesses.
Right.
Like a proper name and
one of the things I sometimes do, I mean, I when I'm testing these things, I literally go into Copilot. So I bring up Microsoft Copilot.
Yeah.
And I'll tell it, this is what you're going to do for me today. And so I'll give it the prompt and I'll say, hey, here's what I want to do. And I'll say, and I'll go through it and I'll make sure that it's returning. Now, the problem is Copilot uses like a batch of, I don't think it uses one model. I think it uses a bunch of models. They're very secretive about it. Even if you ask Copilot, hey, what LLM are you using? It'll be like, well, we can't really say. So it's fairly smart, but it's also very restrictive. Like OpenAI will tell you the world's coming to an end, and Copilot will tell you we don't really know. So put a smile on your face and be happy. So it's the difference. So I could do that. I'm not going to do that now. We'll leave it at this. But this is kind of how, if debugger was working 100%, I would have gone through and adjusted this. Unless you've got any other suggestions off the top of your head.
I mean, I would literally tell it your region culture.
Okay. You think? Well, it did figure it out. So So I can add a new prompt.
I would give it as much context as possible.
Well, let's try that. So let's do a system role. See, I wasn't explicit here. This is of a chat. Let's be explicit then. Chat message. And the chat role is the system. I'm going to describe to the system. My locale is, let's just say ENUS. I don't need to parse in what it is because it could come in as ENCA. Let's see if it figures that out. Meanwhile, I'll go pull over the prompt that I already had because I was testing this already. Okay. I was prepared for failure. I wasn't prepared for debug failures, but
I think the tip of going directly to chat, whether it's ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever, is a really good way to do it. Like stop banging your head on the slower iteration of debugging.
Right.
Go directly to a prompt. And I haven't spent a lot of time in the Foundry web UI for the portal. But
I can't.
is there a chat prompt you can test stuff there?
Yeah, there is and stuff. I wasn't going to, I didn't want to go too far into the weeds. Like normally what I would have is a unit test for this. And I know, it's funny. I have all these services and I'm big on unit testing and I have no unit test for this library. But normally I would have this running through and I would just keep running that test until it's doing the things that I expect. But we didn't need to do that. I mean, more or less, this was about the code. It is kind of doing similar. It's almost doing what we want. We're not aiming for perfect. This is something I can always iterate on. But let's see if your prompt helps. So I'm picking my Disney princess one last time. Let's see if it figures this out.
Like I'm being judged now. But I do think
it's still my debugging is failing, right?
But like over time, even as the models change, you have to keep kind of tweaking your prompts and how much grounding information you provided it. So.
Right. Well, and see, it still didn't quite figure out what it is that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I mean, I might need to add some explicit things. So one of the things, sorry, go ahead.
No, you said you have a prompt so you proceed. I was going to continue to guess on how we could improve this, but
so I do have a prompt that kind of gets it right. But one of the other things so right now I'm just feeding it a category, right? So where's my category here? So it comes in here, right? So I give it the user prompt and I say, give me a list of X. So because we decide how many answers we want to pull in. So we figure in about a minute, if you're getting more than 25, you're cheating. And if you get past 25, well, I suspect that it'll crash. I mean, don't cheat. And then I pass in the category. Now, one of the options I do have is that if we're in the category screen, I take in the category name, obviously, but I also take in a description of what the category is. If I could share my screen, that would be awesome. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to debug. Now, what I could do is that description could be kind of how we influence the model as well, because I think that that's going to happen for some users. They're going to be like, okay, well, it's getting bell wrong. So we can use the description to say, if you see the word bell, give us the BEL version or BELL version as well. So we can influence it through the UI if we needed to. I'm going to see if I can get this to debug. And if it doesn't connect, so be it. We can call it a day. Yeah. Okay. Come on. Do it. It's not going to do it. I would have done it already.
I've actually never seen that thing fail. So that's
I've never failed. It always tell me it's locked or I need to go like unlock it. So sometimes if you haven't touched it in a few hours, it thinks you're hacking it or something. But of course, this is the David Ortinau curse on me.
You know what, though? That's why I love being one of the first to test anything that we work on. And yeah, because I will always break it in the first minute.
I know you have. It's awesome. We'll see. We'll just bring it up on the phone and I'll see if I can show it. So here we have our screen. I don't know if you can see it. Hang on. I can't see if you're squinting or not. So there's our screen. That's the main. That's the main logo. I'm going to go to manage categories. Okay. So there's all of our categories. Yay. Right. So I'm going to add a category. So I have, look at how colorful AI made this. Like, geez, it's very pink. Yeah. I know. Okay. It's a gradient.
It's like spree.
It's a gradient. It's quite nice. I don't know why I decided to make this pink, but anyhow, here we are, pink and orange. So I have like this description field down there. I could probably use that to allow users to, influence the AI. Yeah. Maybe that's something we could do for a future iteration on this app. But I'm not going to keep you on here all morning because again, this is something we've been iterating on for 3-4 weeks. I don't know. It's come along quite well. Obviously, we're not going to release this to the App Store because I don't feel like being sued. This isn't our idea. It's not our idea. It's just it was a cool project to do in .NET MAUI because, like I said, we're using like everything. We're using the camera, all the sensors, the speech to text, and we're using AI because if you're not using AI now, you're not cool, right?
Well, it seems like it's probably time for you to write a book and then
On
use this as your sample.
no, I don't write books. Have you seen my documentation? Come on,
Yeah.
I left that open for you, bud.
Just have the AI write the book for you, and then you go in and put your blessing on it.
It's called a foreword, isn't it? Isn't that what you do now? You just get to sign books.
It's been a minute since I was asked to write a foreword for some things.
And you see your name on everything. It's forwarded by David Ortinau. I don't even
You
know.
know, it is actually quite a privilege to have been working on the same product for as long as I have. Like, not
I'm gonna
only
go
is
back.
this one of the longest things I've done in my career, but it's it's wonderful to see something through this period of the maturity of a product, right? Like, sure, you start something up, you make it really exciting, you hype it, and you get a lot of people to adopt it, and then you move on to the next, exciting thing.
Yep.
But to shepherd something, maybe that's not the right way to say it, but to shepherd something for years and years and years and years through market cycles, through Android and iOS releases, through hiring and hiring freezes. You know what I'm saying? Like, through all the dynamics for as many years as we have. Um, if you go back to the original MonoTouch and MonoDroid, this product has 16 years of history.
16.
And then you go from Xamarin to Xamarin Forms to, which is not a direct line, but to then .NET MAUI, and for all of its struggles and COVID and all the things that happened, we maintained such a massive amount of compatibility that I don't know if everybody really recognizes. And then, like, that was also a move from framework to .NET, and like,
Yeah,
so
that new move was huge. It was a huge lift.
it
People
was a
don't realize
massive
it.
lift, and it wasn't just the Maui piece; it was everything, like
It
the
was
runtime and
it
everything.
was the whole .NET.
Yeah. So, like, people don't really recognize that, and they, but to the point where we are now, and I feel like there's another season coming that with AI and everything else that is also going to be very cool and exciting, and I'm super happy to be able to continue working on this, not only to keep you with a profitable career, but everybody else. Like, I know there's, name a parcel carrier or whatever we call those things. Name an airline. They're all using this stuff, man.
Yep.
Name a home improvement store company.
Oh, that one I don't know.
place.
I don't know the home improvement. I know all the other ones you're referring to, but I'm not allowed to say, am I? So it's all right. And I think you've got customer success stories out there for them.
Some of them, yeah.
I mean, I love it. I've had years of success for it. I'm basically just .NET everything. And I've been .NET MAUI. That seems to be my claim to fame, is just because of the open source stuff. But I've been doing .NET since it came out in, the beta forms in 1999, early 2000s. It was a rough,
yeah,
it was a rough period.
I did not jump on the beta stuff back when it was, what did they originally, they had internal names, but I think when they first released Quick Forms or something like that, Quick UI.
No,
I probably have the email invite from, I don't know if it was Joseph or somebody else that sent it out, but
the last thing I'll say is it was really exciting back then, like, because you didn't know what was coming, right? Like, they go through those long waterfall cycles, and you didn't have customer engagement the same way unless you were like a multi-million-dollar enterprise. It was millions back then too, not billions. Now we're billions, right? And you didn't know. So when a new Visual Studio came out, it was like Christmas Day, right?
Yeah, back when everything was closed source, and
yeah. I miss those days sometimes. I do.
Now there's not many secrets. We try to be as open as possible.
You still have some, and you and John are, well, you're not bad to get stuff out of. John is like, again, he's a boulder you don't move. So, so Dave, thanks for coming on today. That was awesome.
Absolutely.
It's always fun with you, and I'm glad to see the curse continues, because it wouldn't. I mean, Cripes, it just wouldn't be a live stream with you if
John, come back so Alan can be productive again.
No, I love it because it's just you are literally showing the curse that continues. I hope that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I find it fun at this point.
You keep me around, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's always entertaining. So again, thanks for coming, Dave.
Yep.
Thanks anybody who was watching. I don't know if wasn't watching the chat. My apologies.
We had Gerald
anyway.
for a while, but you know, it's just not a.
Oh, you're watching the chat,
and I'm watching. Yes.
Oh, there you go. See, you're a good host. I'm a terrible host. John always does that stuff.
Well, I was hoping somebody was going to come help me with some jokes and things that I could hassle you about, but I didn't even need that. Like you just walked right into it all yourself.
Well, I kind of give it to you because then I feel like I'm disarming you. But you were pretty tired this morning, so I'm gonna have to remember that. I'm gonna if we have you on again, or when we have you on again, I'll make sure you're nice and tired because you're a little bit docile. I can work with that.
This was nice and laid back, so it was good.
We're always fun. All right, thanks everybody. I will see you next week. Ciao for now. I don't know if it's going to stream out, but we'll see.